Can you just start with your origin story? Who are you and how'd you get here?
Well, I'm Adesina Sampson. Um, I was born in South America. Then eventually I moved to Canada, then of course New York. Um, my exposure to how I got here, as far as dance is concerned, it's a long story, but I'll tell you this. I got into dance from the surroundings that I was in, which was church. And then from there, individuals started introducing me to dance, but I always loved dance, but they introduced it to me a little further. And a couple of individuals within my circle, Paul Sadler and Kelvin Cooper, those two individuals pretty much helped me navigate what dance really was and what it is. And then from there, I just started taking classes at Alvin Ailey, Steps on Broadway, Broadway Dance Center. And here I am today, 30 years later.
Can you tell me a little bit about your first dance class? What was that like for you? Were you the only boy? Were there other boys? What was that like for you?
My first dance class was fun. It was at Broadway Dance Center. I wasn't the only boy.
Mm-hmm. What kind of dance class was it? Was it a jazz class, a ballet class, African?
I took a jazz class.
To the jazz class.
Took a jazz class with Frank Hatchett.
That's a classic, bro.
Took a jazz class with Frank Hatchett. So, I was in a class where it wasn't as much males, but it was just enough for me to feel comfortable, right? And Frank, just his personality alone, he would always tease, challenge me, and it just made me want to learn more.
And can you tell me a little bit more about, like, for me, the first time I saw dance, the first dance piece I saw was Revelations, and it blew my mind.
Yes.
And then I saw the bad video with Michael Jackson. Oh my God, it changed my life. What was your first thing? First time you saw dance and you knew that it was it. Like the first time you saw it, like just got your heart.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you got Fred Astaire.
Yeah, nice.
Fred Astaire was that guy. He was the first male dancer that I felt like, wow, it was cool. And then of course after Fred Astaire, I was introduced to Gene Kelly. So those two guys made dance look cool to me. And then of course Michael came after, right? And just closed the deal for me. I was like, listen, this is what I want to do. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but this is what I want to do. And for me, it was, okay, Gene Kelly did one thing, Fred Astaire did one thing, Michael did one thing. But for me, I wanted to find out, I just wanted to be able to dance to everything. Because it seemed like those guys made it look so easy and it was effortless. So I wanted to look like them, but I knew I had to go get training. But for me, I was like, listen, I just want to be able to dance to everything and enjoy it.
Who are you as a dance artist? You got a favorite step. You got a favorite swag. What's your approach to dancing?
My approach to dancing, is first and foremost, be cool. I always want to be there. I always want to be cool, because, some of my dance teachers, in a sense, there were a lot of females, but then I had a good chunk of them were males. And it was always that cool factor for me, and swag. So, but my technique of choice for me is of course modern, because, like I said earlier, Alvin Ailey became a big part of my life, training and studying there for 11 years, touring, doing different things with them. And then of course, later on, all the other companies stepped in, but modern's my thing.
And you got a favorite place you dance or a dance experience you want to kind of share with us?
Oh man. Okay, so I could reference one.
Go for it.
I could reference one. Dancing, doing some dance numbers, finishing off a dance period of time for me was, I was dancing with a company called LT Dance Company in Weehawken, New York. Right? And we had a great time. We had a great show run, and it was a break. We just finished doing some work at the Beacon Theater, and I had an opportunity to go do some auditioning, which all dancers normally do. Life is auditioning. So I came into the city and I auditioned for a company by the name of Kaleidoscope. And I did a duet with a young lady. And that young lady just happened to be working for Alvin Ailey, you know. So I gave her. I mean, I didn't have a goal to be an Alvin Ailey or dance for Alvin Ailey, but my goal was just to dance. Like I said, be cool and be able to, dance to everything. And I told her, I said, listen, while we were doing it and we had a break, we were doing our rehearsals at Steps. I said, listen, I'll do whatever. Take my resume and give it to your boss. So I gave her my resume and she took it. She took it to Ellie and they called me back the same day that she gave me the resume. So for me, that was a big deal because I did have some eye candy stuff on my resume, but I didn't think it was that much attractive to attract a company like Alvin Ailey.
Was Alvin Ailey teaching at Alvin Ailey your first teaching experience, or how'd you get into teaching?
So I got into teaching. What is this? I got into teaching faster than I did getting into more so performing, because a lot of my performing was more so concert work, off Broadway, and then a little bit of Broadway. So I got into teaching quicker, right? And I started teaching in South Orange and Maplewood in New Jersey, Betty White Dance Theater, and it's actually the person that owned it. Her name was Betty White, and she was a rockette.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I got into teaching from her. She saw me doing some work, and she invited me to her studio, and I started teaching at her studio, and she started teaching. She taught me how to teach.
Sweet. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you started your dance company and how long have you been running it?
So dance company, during the time that I was with Alvin Ailey and doing the different things I was doing, I started doing some work here in New Jersey. But of course, my family started growing. At that time, I was married and stepping into the third child. Not me, my wife at the time carrying the third child. So during that time, I was like, you know what? I need to start something for my legacy, for my family. And I started the company in 2012, right? Fast forward to today, before we even got to today, we were doing a lot of work as far as teaching artists work in arts and education in New Jersey, right? So we're going to the schools, we would buy enrichment programs. Of course, the base product is dance. So we did a number of different schools in Newark, which we're based out of. And then from there, I got some connections, and next thing you know, we're doing some work here in the New York market. So we started in 2012, and now we're currently doing work tri-state, New York and New Jersey.
Sweet. Can you tell me a little bit more about your future goals for the dance company and your future goals as an artist? Let's do it. What's your future goals as an artist first, and then we'll talk about dancing.
It's a good question as far as an artist. As an artist, this year was the year that I actually had to figure that out for myself. I had to start figuring out, where does my dance fit? Because I stepped into the realm of running a company, but I also had all the other things going on. I hold two positions, one position at one university and another position at another college. So I'm doing that and taking care of my family. So in the midst of doing all that, it hit me. Like, okay, where does my dance fit? So I went back and started taking dance classes. I started training again at Alvin Ailey. And so now I'm training with two individuals that are great components. Well, actually retired from Ailey. One 26 years. She was a principal dancer at Ailey for 26 years, and her
Who is
husband.
it?
Oh, that's Linda Sims.
Yep.
Right?
A legend.
Legend, right? And her husband Glenn Sims.
Awesome. Great couple.
Right? So he's a graduate from Juilliard, and she's a Ballet Hispanico baby. So they're being able to get in my life. I've been blessed to be in their life, and working with them. So I then found my dance again, where my dance fit. So I now do some workshops and performances with them. So that's where my artistry is. So that allows me to do the work that I'm doing now. I'm not just running the company, but now I'm going back and I'm learning my own self.
Sweet. Where's that company headed? Run me down the next 10 years. What does 2034 look like?
Yes, 2034. So 2034 is going to look like this, right? Right now within our company, we have a junior division, right? And junior division is some of the individuals that you probably know. And they range, as far as grade level, 6th grade all the way to 12th grade. Those individuals, we're going to be working with them, mentoring them, grooming them for their next step in life, which is becoming professional dancers, right? Now, what that looks like in 2034 is that that company, that junior division company, will be the company that we'll be working with throughout the years to come. You know, work from sixth grade to eighth grade, and they'll be performing throughout the city and throughout the world as far as performances. But that grade level between 13 and 18, they get the opportunity to learn dance, master it, and be able to get training with seasoned individuals like Alinda Celeste or like, Adesina, or myself and a couple of my staff members, throughout our company. And 2034 is going to look like that. But we'll be a household name by then too, as well.
Awesome, I love it. You got any closing remarks? Any inspiration for all those inspiring dancers out there, choreographers, costume company directors? Anything you want to, this is your closing remarks for your mini documentary. How we closing out the whole shebang?
What I would say to everybody out there, all the directors, all the individuals that want to be choreographers, teachers, and dancers, come work with us. Come work with our team. We believe in dancing from the inside out. We're actually a wellness company, and our base is dance. But we also believe in making sure that not only do we give back, but we're all about community. We're big about community. We're about making that our Black and brown, as far as Hispanic and Black, making that be the premise of the inner city, but also being able to build those bridges between organization and community. That's what we're about. So I want to encourage everybody that's dancing right now, that's studying dance, stay close to the craft, because the craft is just going to get that much better. Dance is huge. There's so many opportunities in dance. When you talk about jobs and career opportunities, there's so many different things that you can do in dance. Don't shortchange yourself. Stay in the craft, love it, be passionate about it. Trust me, there's something here in the dance world and in dance culture for you to do. Come work with Adera. We'll help you get there.